a perfect outcome to all things is assured. Yeah, a perfect outcome to all things is assured. Yeah, I'm getting stronger every day because my faith leads the way. A perfect outcome to all things is assured. In every situation, there's a blessing somewhere. Come gather, brothers and sisters, and we'll see that it is there. Ooh, I need you, you need me. Yes, you do. And that's how our happiness is guaranteed. Take it, boys.
And now, in all your doings, be you blessed. Through you is ushered in a world unseen, unheard, yet truly there. Holy are you, and in your light, the world reflects your holiness. For you are not alone and friendless. I give thanks for you, and join your efforts on behalf of God, knowing that they are on my behalf as well, and for all those who walk to God with us. Unto God!
A perfect outcome to all things is assured. A perfect outcome to all things is assured. I'm getting stronger every day because my faith leads the way. A perfect outcome to all things is assured. A perfect outcome to all things, yeah, is assured.
Wee doggy!
Wee doggies is right. How are all my wee doggies tonight? How's everybody doing?
It's so good to see y'all.
You're great.
Thanks for being here, Tina, Tina,
I know.
Arizona, Regis, Shauna, Patricia, Connie. Yeah.
I know, we got the full Brady bunch here.
I know.
It's just like,
Thanks so much for joining us. What a wonderful day. Well, it's been actually so lovely today for me in particular. It's just relaxing. Because it's nice and cool over here now in Brooklyn.
Overcast.
And rainy and overcast. And I've just been enjoying listening and being in the sanctuary all day, just relaxing and hearing everybody's wonderful wisdom.
hearing my mind spoken by all of y'all.
Yeah.
You know.
Truly, right, Regis?
It's like,
Yeah, for sure.
oh my God, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, why she's saying my innermost thoughts.
She really was.
What is she, get out of my head! Right.
No, really, stay in my head. Rhoda's homily just spoke everything.
Who did not see themselves? Who was not like going, oh my God. Exactly,
Wow.
right? Who was going, me too, oh my God, me too.
Oh, Patricia, I know you came in late on the homily, but I'm just encouraging you to listen because it's really, really amazing. Like the depth of
we all have to go through
intimate
that.
sharing that Rhoda did with us, sharing her experience in a blended household with Christian, Muslim, and Jew. And it just really
Inside that community.
All of those communities and how it influences her life on a day-to-day basis is really, really powerful.
And she kept saying constructed identity.
Yeah.
You know, which is it's a
constructed identity.
What we're calling reality and what we're calling ourselves and what we're calling an investment in the way things is. But they're and it's like you can't make what it isn't. It doesn't. What is? That's what we say. Around here, what is real can't be threatened.
And nothing unreal exists.
Nothing unreal exists. So here we are in the peace of God already.
Yeah.
What's the correct perspective on that?
Yeah, and as we were listening to Rhoda this morning, it really dovetailed into what Glenn wants to
Yeah.
share from the text today. And I don't know, just this
Absolutely amazing.
this way that we sync up here, you know.
Yeah, because the one I'm gonna talk about justice tonight.
Interesting.
Right. Just an idea of what's just and unjust is what the Course of Miracles is going to talk about tonight. What are the odds? You know, and we're in the part we'll talk about this a little bit. Going a little bit depth a little bit later for the framing, but we're in the stabilization phase where she's giving us like 5 or 6 perspectives on what does it look like to be the eye in the storm.
Right.
What does it look like when it seems like the world is coming down, but where you're not coming down?
Yeah.
Do you understand? Like how to have the correct perspective no matter what's happening. And the Course of Miracles calls that stabilization. Yeah. And she's going to talk about justice. So I'm going to go into this a little bit
So
more
wild.
later.
Hi, Rhoda. We're so glad you're here. We were just talking about your
well, we were just praising your name.
It was really powerful and wonderful. Thank you.
And we're gonna pick up on the topic.
We're
just like every time. So I'm preparing this. I'm all preparing this all week. It's like I have no idea what the homily is going to be. I don't know I don't even know who the person is going to be. I prepare the lesson. I do the thing, and I prepare it all week, and then to come to find out that the homily is almost always the lesson that it is. You know, it is almost always right on. It's like, and why perspective is important. Why it's the perspective of stability, the perspective of the village, the perspective of an us, and a we perspective is a much more powerful perspective than an I, isolated, separated identity.
Yeah.
Why that really is, why it works, because it's real and it's true and it's unchanging. And what's unchanging about it, the cool thing is like, oh wow, it's unchanging. No. It's reliable.
Yeah.
Unchanging means it's reliable. It means it works every single time, right? Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't you love to have an oven that worked exactly the same way every single time? We have a rickety old oven. So it's like I don't know. Let's order a cake in because this oven, you know. But you know that about your oven. You don't keep putting things in there and expect it to. You go, I learned this about my oven, so I don't expect my oven to act like an oven. I expect it to operate like kind of like a really hot casserole warmer. You know, makes good biscuits because it's so drafty. You know.
Why does that make good biscuits?
It's because the circulation of air makes it fluffy.
Oh, okay. He's the chemist. I don't know.
Speaking of fluffy, what's our sing-along tonight? I'm just gonna.
Well,
my oven is a storage cupboard now. You see, that is so New York. That is so New York. I know people who put shoes in their oven.
Okay, so while we were sort of digging around in
our own archives,
in videos that we've done before, we found a song that we really haven't sung since
2012.
2012. So I'm gonna put the lyrics in the chat.
And hope you'll sing along.
Yeah. So hold on. You'll get it after the first time we go around it.
You just will.
Okay. Let's see.
Did it all go in?
Yeah. All right. So it's called "I Am Here in the Heart of God," and it's. I just love this. This is very.
Do you know it? Does anybody know?
Does anybody know it? No.
You'll know it after tonight. You'll know it.
So here we go. Let's see. And Glenn is going to do the shaker for us. So I'm so excited. Here we go. All right.
Good?
Yep. Like the wave in the water and the water in the wave, I am here in the heart of God.
flame, in the fire, in the fire, in the flame. I am here in the soul of God. I am here in the mind of God. God is here in the mind of me, like the earth in my body and my body in the earth. I am here in the soul of God. Back to the first verse. I am here in the heart of God. God is here in the heart of me, like the wave in the water and the water in the wave. I am here in the heart of God. There we go. Yay. Was that fun? I like that.
fun?
Yeah. I like it. Feels
Rhoda,
very
go.
autumnal.
You want to say something, Rhoda?
Oh, she's clapping.
Oh, clapping. Oh, okay, okay.
And Regis is
Oh,
clapping.
okay.
Thank you.
I don't know how. I know. High five. I know. I'm trying to high. It's like playing patty cakes. What? I said, wait, how's this work? How's the game? What's the game? I don't know how this works. We're on. So let's do the circle.
You want to do the meditation?
Yes.
Okay. Great. All right, y'all. So we're gonna do a circle of love meditation.
We should probably do the lesson first.
You want to do the workbook first?
Yeah. We're on this. What is the second coming? You realize that we're on lesson 3. What's the next lesson? 360. Yeah, 300. We're on 300. So there's only 65 days left in the year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was 300 was like Friday or something like that. And then right after the lesson 300, we're talking about the workbook right now, if you're following in the workbook.
Section 9.
Well, yeah, then it moves to section 9. What's interesting about the workbook this year for me is that I hardly ever read these section breaks that she does between the lessons every 6 months or so. And this is particularly interesting. It's section 9, which leads into
where we are now.
Where we are now. But it's called "What is the Second Coming?" And I thought, wow,
so it comes at the time of this stabilization, and we're going to talk about the next section. Is the section on building institutional and institutions relationships. Building institutions, relationships within institutions, building relationships, interrelationship institutions, like what large groups do together and how the oneness works in this larger identities and things like that. It's kind of what, it's the blueprint of how you'll see this, it's how awakening together works. But so it's no accident that we're at what is the second coming. It's like this awakening that it's like, oh, I know what to do now, and nothing was really ever wrong. The only thing that was ever wrong was I didn't know what was mine to do. And this second coming is like, oh, I can relax because I don't have to strive. There's something that is doing me. I understand. I'm relaxing into what is doing me. Christ's second coming, which is sure of God, is merely the correction of mistakes and the return of sanity. It's like okay, I'm dropping all the BS identities I got. I'm really dropping all these BS identities because they don't work, and I don't want to live in them, right? And I don't want to share them. I don't want to inhabit and enliven them anymore. I was talking to Yolanda earlier about the things that were the second coming. Is like when you realize that you've been wearing a mask and you decide to consciously take it off. You go, oh my God, I was always had my dukes up in some kind of way, you know?
Yeah.
And you have to remember for a little while to consciously put them down, right? A lot like, it's like that's the second coming, the correction of mistakes. It can feel really raw, this stabilization kind of phase. It can feel kind of really raw because you're doing kind of some things for the first time, you know.
Yeah, and one of the things that I'm doing for the first time, no, really, is trying to catch myself in the moment when I'm about to go into some familiar tailspin. I find it mostly shows up in intimate relationships. So here we are practicing with each other.
Oh, I know.
But you know, so another thing I want y'all to know is that on Tuesday, Halloween is our wedding anniversary. So I know, so we're kind of celebrating our relationship this weekend, and we've actually been together for 20 years, but we got married in 2012 in the Halloween parade here in New York City. But all of these things are coming to me now in a new way because, you know, even with the best intentions, I think we fall into habits of oh, thank you, Tina. We fall into habits of ways of behaving with each other, and things that we misunderstand about each other. And it's only now at this juncture that we're really willing to look at those misunderstandings. Does that make sense? You know,
so
what I mean?
I'm not supporting my constructed identities, not preserving them in my constructed identities for this, because I value something greater, like intimacy and reality, more than I value, you know, being in, you know, an ex-junkie or an ex-hustler, you know, or any of those things. It's like, or being on the, you know, on the spectrum, you know, serious ADD and bullied my whole entire life. It's like, where do I want, at what point, you know, does it stop? You know,
exactly. And that's what I heard so clear today. One of the things I heard so clear today in Rhoda's homily is that these are choices that we are making, you know, but we can't make a different choice until we see what we're doing, you know.
And that's why the request is always for just clarity. Just as like, oh my God, just like clarity. So we're gonna talk about how to get that clarity tonight. But lesson 301 and 302 are very cool really in the way this is constructed.
This is yesterday's lesson 301, and it says this: "And God Himself shall wipe away all tears."
I know. So, it's okay to cry. Like so tears are happening. It's like God is like, so. There's nothing that needs to happen any different. Fatherless, unless I judge, I cannot weep. Yeah. So it's like, there it is. Who's weeping? So keep going.
No, but listen to what else it says. The prayer is so cool here. Father, unless I judge, I cannot weep. Nor can I suffer pain or feel I am abandoned or unneeded in the world. This is my home because I judge it not, and therefore is it only what you will. Let me today behold it uncondemned. Ooh.
Through happy eyes?
Through happy eyes. Forgiveness has
released all the distortion.
Let me see your world instead of mine.
Okay, there could be... Remember, 2 weeks ago we talked about if we were seeing correctly and working together, we would build an Eden. Do you remember that a couple of weeks ago? This is if we see correctly, we will build correctly. We will have correct relationships, and what will happen is that we will create an experience that reflects reality. How about that? And she calls that an adventure and a revolution. 2 weeks ago, remember, if you remember.
So that was yesterday, and then today's lesson is 302, where darkness was, I look upon the light.
Right.
And the prayer says, Father, our eyes are opening at last. Your holy world awaits us as our sight is finally restored and we can see. We thought we suffered, but we had forgot the Son whom you created. Now we see that darkness is our own imagining, and light is there for us to look upon. Christ's vision changes darkness into light, for fear must disappear when love has come. Let me forgive your holy world today, that I may look upon its holiness and understand it but reflects my own. I just feel like you spoke to that directly, Rhoda, today. I mean, I just really do.
The way it works, it's the fastest way around is through.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. The fastest way around is through. It certainly isn't him hawing, saying maybe later, or I can't, or it's too much right now. Although it could be.
It's really courageous,
you can do
I think,
so
to face our fears.
So
tomorrow, this will be tomorrow, lesson 103.
So this is why it's the second coming. Tomorrow's lesson is
the Holy Christ is born in me today.
And remember that there's the Christ idea is the anointed. The Christ idea is everything is in its place and knows what it's doing and is conscious in its doing. The anointed. To be the anointed, the Christ. I know what I'm to do. I know what I'm about. I know where I am, and I'm seeing correctly. It's like a cooperative component, all the way down the line. You know, hooked up, clued in. You know, doing my part as the secret underground miracle worker network. You know.
Oh, this is a new phrase that Glenn has coined, which I think is cute. He comes up with these lovely phrases. Listen to the voice that likes you. So now he's come up with...
The secret underground miracle worker network, right? Because she says everybody's doing their part and everybody's right where they're supposed to be, but some people are so deep undercover, right? That they cannot acknowledge or anything like that. They don't know they're playing, they can't acknowledge they're playing along. So you have to say, I just don't know your cover. I don't know, what's going on. We're all a part of the secret underground miracle worker network. So you can trust people to be exactly who they are and do exactly what they're doing, because we're all doing the very best we can, supposedly.
Yes, we
That's
are.
What the Course wants to say.
We are.
So let's get present so we can.
Yeah.
I'm excited about today's lesson.
Yeah.
Always am, but this is fun.
Okay. So I'm going to ring the bell, and we're going to breathe and om, and then take a moment here to center ourselves. And the song I'm going to play after was also inspired by what I heard today in Rhoda's homily. And if we can just really live into we are not our bodies, we are free, we're not our thoughts and feelings, even though they may be generational and cultural. So it's a song called You Are an Idea. So here we go. As we breathe, as we feel the love, we acknowledge that we come together to create this circle of unconditional love where everything is accepted, everything that we like and everything that we do not like. And we know that there's a lot of things that we do not like, especially right now in this world, in our lives, in this experience that we're living. However, we also know that we are not our bodies. We are not our thoughts and feelings, even though they may be passed down from generation to generation to generation. That still doesn't make them who we are. We are light. We are love. We are joy. We are divine expressions. We are an idea in divine mind. Blessed be, and so it is. You are an idea in divine mind. You are an idea in divine mind. We are not these bodies that we think we are. We are an idea in the mind of God. What does that mean? Oh, what does that mean? What does that mean? Oh, what does that mean? We're not our thoughts and feelings or sensations that we crave. We're not our experience, although we take them to our grave. What does that mean? What does that mean? Plant is made of love. Every creature in the sea and birds that fly above are an idea. You are an idea. thank you, everybody. Oh, goodness. That was my dad's grave. And, yeah, it was really so wonderful to be there and be with him. I just had this completion, which I'd never had before when he was alive. And I just wanted to share that with you because it was a moment in my life where I really got it, that we are not these bodies. And that my dad is with me, So I don't know. I just felt very much like I wanted to share that with you today. So thank you. Hi, George.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
So, yeah, we can just...
Yeah.
So, here we are. Here we are. If you're following along, I know you're great course students, right? You're fantastic course students. You're so diligent, you read it twice a day, you know? The course is my jam because it works, and it's like, why do I do it? Because it works, and I love what Earl Purdy always says. He goes, you know why it's your path? It's because you'll do it, You'll get up and I was just listening to Earl Purdy.
Oh,
Hey,
George was just listening.
I know. I used to sit at work and I'll listen to Earl Purdy all day long. I did that for years. Listen to Earl Purdy all day long at work. So I hear him. I hear some of his phrases still in my head, like "Thank you for your correct perception." This is one of my good Earl. One of the things I say. But I want to share this image with you because the course right here is talking about 26, the transition. This is what I call the chapter on stabilization. She gives you a lot of viewpoints on what it looks like to be the eye of the storm. In this chapter, she's talking about this section 10, the end of injustice. Which is kind of funny what's going. Always fun to know what the Course of Miracles is going to be talking about when the news is happening. That's always fun. Always fun. Find out what the lesson is on these big news days. Never. It's always interesting. So I want to share this image with you of this. This is an image of a bunch of people holding together a bunch of signs. It looks like everybody's carrying their own sign, but it collects. It's one thing, and they're all moving in one direction.
Yeah.
And they're all kind of carrying a different piece of the forward movement.
Mm.
Right. Everybody's doing it. Some people don't know they're doing it, but everybody's moving in this same direction. You can't. You're alive, right? The thing is to be aware and to be conscious. So, like my mother says, you aren't dragged around into the light. You could just willingly, like without the least amount of suffering, like walk into the light instead of having been slammed with it constantly. Why must it always be the hard way? I don't know, because it's interesting. Because I'll do it if it's hard, maybe. So whatever your method is, that's what's important to do. Then you'll do it. Then you're on the path. This idea that there's, we got to this talk with Rhoda and a couple of the others this afternoon, Kate and Shauna, which is like how important you work with your own version of authenticity, how you work with exactly what is here and not somebody else's stuff, right? I've enough without trying to like go examine you. I need to fix. I would be so much better if you were fixed. That's a project. That's a project. Oh I would feel a lot better if you fix yourself.
Oh, and see.
It's like, oh my God, right?
That's one of the things that keeps tripping me up. Those are the thoughts that keep me in my head. Now, if y'all would just fix yourselves.
Her version of this
okay.
equals people do stuff.
Yeah.
That's what we joke around with. The way we experience this. Oh my God, people are doing stuff. They're doing stuff. They shouldn't be doing. There's stuff they're doing. You know, it does we're fill in the blank.
Oh, and I just want to mention that this one song I wrote called "Control Queen," which says,
Who'd you write it about?
Well, I originally wrote it about my mother, but it happens to be about me.
I wanted you to say that.
If all the people in the world had a place, that's the place where they should stay. I've always said that straight is the path and narrow is the way. If all the people in the world would just do as I say, they'd be okay. Right?
And the chorus is, I'm a control queen.
Yeah, the chorus is, I'm a control queen.
It's all out of love, though, right? It's all out of love.
Yeah.
You know, I love you. You should behave. I'm trying to get you to behave.
Yeah.
You know, I love you. Behave. So we're gonna. It's six paragraphs. But before, one of the things that happens in this stabilization section is very cool. The previous section is called "For They Have Come," section 9, and it's one of my favorites. It's called "For They Have Come," and you can read this as an open meditation. And I almost did that tonight as well. Read this as an open meditation to yourself, because the Course uses they, them pronouns for you for an entire chapter.
It's very
They, them.
different.
It's you're a they, them. And we're going to continue with that kind of idea of not a singular presence. Do you understand what she's getting at? It says, not a singular presence. So I'm not going to ask you to take my word for it. I'm going to read what she says. And it's not too much. It's about 3 paragraphs. But listen to how she frames what a they is. For they have come. Think but how holy you must be, from whom the voice of God calls lovingly unto your brother, that you may awake in him the voice that answers to your call. And think how holy he must be, in him sleeps your own salvation, with his freedom joined. However much you wish he be condemned, God is in him. And never will you know he is in you as well, while you attack his chosen home and battle with his host. Regard him gently. Look with loving eyes on him who carries Christ within him, that you may behold the glory and rejoice that heaven has not been separated from you. Is it too much to ask a little trust for him who carries Christ with you, that you may be forgiven all your sins and left without a single one you cherish still? Forget not that a shadow held between your brother and yourself obscures the face of Christ and the memory of God. And would you trade them for an ancient hate? The ground whereon you stand is holy ground, because of them who stand there with you and have blessed it with their innocence and their peace. And she wraps it up in this way. Now is the temple of the living God rebuilt as the host again to him by whom it was created. There he dwells. His Son dwells with him, never separate. And they give thanks what they are welcome made at last. Where stood a cross, now stands the risen Christ. And ancient scars are healed within his sight. An ancient miracle has come to bless and replace an ancient enmity came to kill. In gentle gratitude do God the Father and the Son return to what is theirs and will forever be. Now is the Holy Spirit's purpose done, for they have come, for they have come. Isn't that amazing? Is it just like, you know, who you wrap your identity around that? Could we wrap our identity around that? Could we walk around as that? Interesting.
Yeah.
They have come. Who's living in you? Who's looking out from your eyes? Is it a single person afraid of the world and trying to make aspirational things happen? Or is it them? Are they looking out from your eyes? The Father, the side of the world, the living, what is living looking out?
Yeah.
Interesting concept.
Wow, very interesting. I haven't thought of it that way. Wow.
So, 6 paragraphs. It's pretty good.
Okay.
We're well into it, so
Yeah.
not too bad.
So, okay, so now we're going to jump over to chapter 26, the transition, section 10, the end of injustice. First paragraph. This is in the text. What then remains to be undone for you to realize their presence, capital T, their presence? Only this. You have a differential view of when attack is justified and when you think it is unfair and not to be allowed. It is not a question of the size of the confusion or how much it interferes. Its simple presence shuts the door to theirs and keeps them there unknown. What does it mean if you perceive attack in certain forms to be unfair to you? All are senseless, equally without a cause or consequence. Their presence is obscured by any veil that stands between their shining innocence and your awareness. Their shining innocence and your awareness that it is your own and equally belongs to every living thing along with you.
Oops, that's the they. That's the they again. Oh no, I'm every living thing. Yeah, your part in it, right? Not a bad or not like there are no levels, right? Secret underground miracle worker network. Let's say the confusion and their presence. When is attack justified? Hint, never. But when it's fair, it's allowed. When it's fair, everybody agrees. It's fair, it's allowed. When it's unfair, we all agree it's not allowed. Well, that's just a bunch of, righteous, aspirational, anger and revenge and all this other mess, right? When is attack justified? For who? Who makes the rule? Whose reality? Right? She makes a couple of reminders here. There are no degrees of being.
Right.
There are no degrees of being. No degrees of being. No degrees of being. No hierarchies in being. Confusion is a closed paradigm. It blocks knowledge. Confusion, you're done. You're done. Now there's grace and all kinds of stuff, but you can't operate from confusion. There's no clarity through confusion. It blocks your awareness of this sense of they, the sense of the Christ presence in you, this Christ perspective, this memory of God, this creative presence, this clarity, which is the Course is calling their presence, the presence of the Christ, the presence of the memory of God, the presence of the creative present that I know what to do, the anointed self, as looking out. Fun. Keep going.
All life, us being lived.
Yes,
Us
exactly.
being lived.
Exactly, yes. Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. It's joyful. It's supposed to be joyful.
Yeah.
But that's what we're talking about, the end of injustice. So keep going. Third paragraph.
Okay, unfairness and attack are one mistake, so firmly joined that where one is perceived, the other must be seen. You cannot be unfairly treated. Now, this reminds me, of course, of Regina's lesson on Is Attack Possible? And I just, I really enjoyed that. Projection of the cause of sacrifice is at the root of everything perceived to be unfair and not your just deserts. You have no enemy except yourself. This is where I'm like, let's read that again. You have no enemy except yourself. What could be more unjust than that he be deprived of what he is, denied the right to be himself? Beware of the temptation to perceive yourself unfairly treated. And is it innocence that your attack on him attempts to get? Whatever way the game of guilt is played, there must be loss.
Okay, that's just the highlighted pieces. The whole thing is like really good. That's just the highlighted parts.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
The right to be versus the game of guilt. A couple of reminders here. You recognize them. You cannot be unfairly treated. This caused quite a stir on our Wednesday night meeting.
Yeah.
Quite a stir. There is no sacrifice. You have no enemy except yourself. Your brother is yourself. She says all of these things. Ooh. She says them all. So this is like the 20th millionth time she said them by the time we're in this chapter page. 26. We're in chapter 26. She has said this a lot. You cannot be unfairly treated. There is no sacrifice in the world. You have no enemy except yourself. Your brother is yourself. And she gives us a definition of what unjust is. Unjust is to be deprived of what you are, or deprive anybody of what they are. Unjust is to deprive yourself or someone else from the right to be whatever they're being. That's the course is that's unjust not to allow that for yourself or the other person or the world. Let things be exactly as unfair. She says to give a definition of unfair. Unfair is seeking innocence just for me. Because it's made out of the guilt of others. I need to make myself innocent because I got to go find somebody that's guilty. Who's responsible? You know? I want to, because I need to be declared innocent. So this whole idea of being guilty, somebody is where is your innocence? How do we lose or exchange? And it's like, how did innocence can be so transactional and slippery? You know? But it seems like my guilt and shame and something like that sticks really well, you know? But this innocence and stuff is so slippery. Well, there's a lot in the world to do that you have to do in the world if you're guilty all the time. And there's a lot less you have to perform if you're innocent. Right? The identity in what you are physically and actively doing and thinking is completely different. Yeah. It creates a different world. That's the stabilization that she wants us to get to see. The world inside of our head is the world that we're making out here. The problems we have inside our head is the problems that we are having out here.
Yeah.
It's not two places. You know? That's why everybody said, that's why Christian Murray said, he goes, what's the best thing we can do to wake up? She goes, aside waking up right now for yourself, you know, instead of getting your own stuff together and stop figuring out what everybody else should do. Other than that, raise your kids perfect. Write off everybody else on the planet. Do what you need to do and raise your kids right. That's the fastest way to Eden. That's what Christian Murray said. Unjust is to deprive yourself of what you are. Unfair is to seek innocence just for yourself at the guilt of others. Keep going. We're almost done.
Okay. Highlights from chapter 5 and 6.
Paragraphs 5 and 6.
Yeah, exactly. Paragraph 5 and 6. Okay. The Holy Spirit's purpose is to let the presence of your holy guests, capital G, be known to you. So there's the they again.
The guests again.
The Holy Spirit's purpose is to let the presence of your holy guests be known to you. And each unfairness that the world appears to lay upon you, you have laid upon it by rendering it purposeless, without the function the Holy Spirit sees.
Woo, woo. Presence of the holy guests. For they have come, for they have come, for they have come. The holy guests. The purpose of the Holy Spirit, the purpose of life, we were talking about this, it was like the purpose of the world, is to know your unity, your togetherness, your relationship, to wake up. All things work together for your good. All lessons. You are not a body. You are free. The world, but the whole entire world is your body. And the reality is this is simply justice. This is simple justice. Reality is justice. Because it's what we want, what we're thinking, what we're doing, what we're asking for, what we are creating.
The choices we're making.
Choices we're making. It's not transactional. We are making it happen. We are creating the conditions for its presence. So keep going. Paragraph 6.
The world is fair because the Holy Spirit has brought injustice to the light within. And there has all unfairness been resolved and been replaced with justice and with love. If you perceive injustice anywhere, you need but say,
Copy.
by this do I deny the presence of the Father and the Son, and I would rather know of them than see injustice. There's more. Hold on one second. By this do I deny the presence of the Father and the Son, and I would rather know of them than see injustice, which their presence shines away. I'm going to put that prayer in the chat,
So,
just so y'all can see
read
that.
that again.
By this do I deny the presence of the Father and the Son, and I would rather know of them than see injustice, which their presence, capital P, shines away.
Helps me to know what to remind myself what am I looking at? What's actually what world am I building? So this is what I wrote. Confusion is the opposite of the peace of stabilization. Confusion is a good sign that we're not valuing what is valuable. Confusion is seeing with false beliefs. Confusion blocks the knowledge of what is. We're uncovering these beliefs all the time that hinder our peace with a collective, what she calls confusion. We're uncovering beliefs all the time that hinder our peace. Our purpose is to be the place of peace and cooperative component in the peace of the world. That's what we do. That's our function. That's the anointed function. We cannot do that by separating. We cannot do that by keeping a justice scorecard for everyone. Stabilization is making decisions from a unity space, from a they space. Stabilization has an identity and a perspective as oneness, wholeness, completeness, where before we were always reaching for something or someone else to complete us. All we need is right here. It's often in other people. Right now, often in other people. We are living from source, in relationship with all that is. I want to live my life in the creative present of that reality. That reality. I want to live from that reality. Sounds kind of fun. Sounds a lot less scarier than trying to manage, trying to perform well, or like trying to be a good gay, for one, or like trying to be a good man, or trying to earn people being nice to me, like trying to perform virtue so that I can not get hurt. Do you see the motive? You see the different sort of motivation? And it comes from an idea of perspective about how I am, the identity I am, and the way the world that I am and connect with and through. I am that creative, loving presence, turns out. I have that knowledge. I have that creative sense of to be the eye in the storm, to be the peace where there is no peace. I want that for you. I want that for me.
I want that for me.
I want a peace you can't take away.
Yeah.
Right? That I could walk through anything so stable and right that I know. And it isn't because I don't want to be afraid. It's because I love you. That's reality. Look, what am I seeing with? I'm not afraid because I am there with you. I understand so much of it because I go with you. All those things that that Jesus said to all those people. He goes, don't everywhere I'm there too. Yeah, of course. Thanks for going there with me. Thanks for being this, helping me believe that there is the reflection of the love of God available. That this does really happen and this does really work, and that I'm not alone and friendless. And that my craziness lives in you.
Oh, really?
And that I'm not. My craziness isn't just uniquely like, oh, you never know. I can't share. It's kind of fun. I'm so grateful to be so oddly, specifically, not unusual. To be so very specifically not unusual. So I'm Reverend Glen Ganaway. I'm your favorite anarchist preacher, I hope. Listen to the voice that likes you, because she'll tell you that we're one, and she'll tell you how to act like it. And I'm here with the love of my life, the Reverend Yolanda. This is the Mighty Companions, and stay tuned. The entire evening is full of enlightenment for you.
We love y'all. Thank you for joining us.